What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope you all are having a great day so far. Jumping into this episode of GH, let me tell you something. I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Beginning to end, I enjoyed it. I think it was pretty dope. First of all, let's talk about this Dev situation. Listen, he was making me hungry the way he was scarfing down that food. I like it because you want to know why? See, him and Franco are the two realest people on this show when it comes to eating. When it comes to eating, they're the realest, because everybody else, when they got food in front of them, say if they got food in front of them with the drink, they would drink the drink or the coffee or the liquor, whatever they're drinking, they would drink that until there's no more. But with the food in front of them, they would barely touch it. It looks like the food is untouched. But when you see Franco in the scene, Franco always got his mouth full of food, cookies, whatever. He stayed like just scarfing down some food. I like it because that's how I am. Listen, if you got to play the food in front of me, I ain't going to act all classy and coof and stuff like that. I'm going to be sitting there eating. Like, I don't care. Like, if you notice in the scenes today with Jax and Nina, they had coffee and I think they had a croissant. Both of them had coffee and a croissant in front of them. They hardly touched the croissant. I seen Nina picking at it, but they barely touched it. Mind you, they were sitting there, keep picking up that coffee, and they just kept drinking the coffee, barely touching the croissant. See, that's what I'm talking about. Dev was eating like there wasn't no tomorrow, and I like it. Because if you're going to do a scene, it got to be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're doing a scene with food, it has to be real. Like, you got to, you got to be realistic on that. Ain't nobody going to have all that food in front of them and they hardly touch it. Jocelyn and Carly and Sonny was just staring at him like he was from another planet while he was eating. Carly was like, damn. She said he could eat. Luckily for them, they're rich, so they can afford it because their grocery bill would be high as hell. I enjoyed the scenes with Dev and Jocelyn and him and Carly. I definitely enjoyed it. Jocelyn proved to me, even more so today, that she's a carbon copy of her mother. Like, how she just keeps asking questions, and when she doesn't get the answer she wants, she will stop at nothing to get those answers, no matter what she has to do. Because when Carly told her to go outside and go pick up Avery's toys and stuff, she used that as an opportunity to eavesdrop on their conversation, because Carly wanted to get to know Dev. Asking him all type of questions about his family. Of course, he didn't want to talk about his family. That's not surprising, because most new characters that come in the show, when you ask them about their family, they really don't want to talk about their family. So that goes to show you that there's some issues there, or maybe their parents are deceased, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, usually that's how new characters are. A lot of new characters come on the show, they don't never want to talk about their family. That's how you know it's some drama there. And when they were talking about him being in Turkey and helping Sonny and stuff like that, Jocelyn was just sitting there eavesdropping the whole time, getting all the dirt, because he would not tell her nothing. And Sonny was happy about that, because Sonny didn't, he don't want to tell Jocelyn nothing either, unless they, have to. But other than that, they just don't want to involve her in it. And it was so funny how Carly was sitting there telling Jocelyn, when she found out that Jocelyn was eavesdropping and stuff like that, she was basically telling her, that was uncalled for, unnecessary. I said, Carly, really? She didn't do nothing that you wouldn't have done. Because we all know Carly would have done the same thing. The same thing. We all know that. Because we all know how Carly is when she wants to know something. She's not going to stop until she gets the answers. We've seen it a million times. So I'm not surprised. I'm not shocked Jocelyn is the same way. I'm not surprised. It was messed up, though, how basically Robert was telling Sonny how the WSB, they tried to help Dev, but Dev didn't accept their help. He basically took off on them because they were going to set him up with a new passport, new identity, some cash, a place to stay. They were just going to set him up nice. But he ran because apparently he didn't, I guess, trust them or whatever, which is not uncommon, because plenty of people don't trust authorities. They don't trust them. I don't blame the kid. You know, he's from the streets. You know, of course he doesn't trust police or law enforcement. He's from the street. You know, he's seen what cops do and stuff like that. So, of course he's not going to trust it. But he is a crafty person, though. He definitely is. To get to Port Charles all the way from Turkey by himself, he's a very relentless, crafty kid. You know, he's very creative, obviously. And that's that street smarts that kick in. You know, when you've been on the streets probably most of your life and stuff, you know, you learn things. And I think that's what he did. He learned a lot. Clearly. He knows how to evade people, how to, you know, sneak around. You know, he's crafty. That's a good tool to have. But it was so funny how Carly tried to act like she cooked that food that he was eating. I'm like, we all know Carly can't cook. I remember a few years ago, Jax mentioned how she burned frozen pizza. It's already been established over the years that Carly cannot cook at all. That's why Sonny does most of the cooking, or they eat out. She cannot cook at all. Like, I don't even think that poor woman can cook toast. She might burn it. I don't even think she can make eggs. I don't think so. Like, I've heard stories about Carly's cooking on this show. Like, they mentioned it quite often. Like, years ago, they mentioned it quite often that she is not, you know, she's not Paula Deen. She's not Martha Stewart. You know, she ain't got none of that cooking skill. But anyway, Jocelyn, of course, had an attitude because she wanted to know how long Dev was going to be staying with them or whatever. Sonny basically said, like, Dev is going to be staying with them for the summer. You know, and after the summer is over, they're going to work something out and see what they're going to do. Sonny was like, first of all, because, you know, Jocelyn was worried about what people were going to say. Like, you know, people, once they see him, they're going to ask questions like, who's this kid? Who is he? You know, people are going to ask questions. Sonny was like, shoot, he my cousin. I feel Sonny on that because I can relate to that. Like, we've done that so many times with people that people don't know. Like, we'll say that person is our cousin or whatever, like some type of relative, even though biologically they're not. But we would say that. I can definitely relate to that. He was like, this is my cousin Devin. She said, Devin? He was like, yeah, it's short. He said, Dev is short for Devin. That was hilarious, though. But I like this Dev character. I do. I like it. I know a lot of people are not happy about new characters and stuff like that on an already bloated cast. But I can definitely, you know, see him on the show for a long time as being a protege for Sonny. Because the thing is, I think Sonny really wants to take this kid in, and he's taking an interest in this kid because I think he sees a lot of himself in this kid. You know, for the most part, Sonny basically raised himself for a lot of years after his mother died. You know, he basically grew up on the street. You know, so I think he sees a lot of himself in this boy. So it's understandable why he would take him in, you know, and the kid did help him, and, you know, he could easily get his kid a duffel bag full of money and send him on his way, but that's not what he wants to do. You know, I think he can teach this kid a lot, you know, maybe hone his skills some, never know. Hell, it worked wonders for Jason all them years ago. But anyway, moving on from that, Shiloh. I'm getting tired of his ass. I'm sorry, but I am. I'm getting tired of him. So I must warn y'all that this portion of the video is about Shiloh and Alexis and Diane scene. So this portion, I'm about to break something down for all of y'all, just in case you didn't notice. But I'm about to break something down, and it might involve some swear words. So if you don't want to hear it, I suggest you exit this video right now. But I'm sick of that smug look on his face. Every time he walks into a room, he's smug. But let me tell you something. And this is what people may not notice or realize, but I've been realized it a long time ago, and today I realized it even more. When Diane left the room to go make a phone call, and Shiloh was left alone with Alexis to talk to Alexis, I'm going to tell you right now, the person he was talking to was not Alexis. The moment he brought up that pledge and the secrets and the way Alexis was looking at him, that wasn't Alexis he was talking to. I'm going to tell y'all who he was talking to. He was talking to Natasha. See, what people don't realize is there's two separate people. You have Alexis Davis, the mother of three, accomplished attorney, somewhat plays by the rules. She's a legal eagle. Now, when you piss her off or you threaten her and her family in any way, the other person you get is Natasha Cassadine. And let me tell you something. You do not want Natasha Cassadine, because I'm going to tell you something. Natasha is the bitch that you don't want to play with. And the way Natasha was talking today, you could see, and it's so funny because Shiloh said he felt like Diane was a mystery to him because he doesn't know anything about her. But with Alexis, he made mention that she was, what did he say? Savage. She was a savage, or she had a penchant for violence. Something, he alluded to the fact that she was dangerous, basically. And that's what caught my attention the most. I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, if you know that she's dangerous, why would you stand in her face and antagonize her like that? Unless you have clearly the boy has a death wish, because look at the way he antagonizes Sonny and Jason all the time, knowing the profession that they're in. So it's not all that surprising that he would antagonize Alexis. But the thing is, when Alexis morphs into Natasha, she will actually hurt you. Like the night that she ran down Kiefer, that wasn't Alexis driving that car. The way her facial expression was when she was driving, that was Natasha driving that car. This is what I want a lot of y'all to do. I don't want y'all to do it, I'm asking you. Go back on YouTube and type in Alexis kills Kiefer or runs down Kiefer. Look at her facial expression and how she was agitated and how she was acting in that car when she was driving. That wasn't Alexis driving that car. That was Natasha. See, people don't understand about Natasha. I done told y'all. That's the bitch that you don't want to play with. Because when Natasha comes out, all hell finna break loose on you. I'm just saying. Natasha ain't the one. That's a person you don't want to piss off. Because even she said that to Diane. And she basically threatened Shiloh's life. Because she was like, the only things that's going to stop Shiloh is if he's in prison or dead. Usually Alexis doesn't talk like that. But like I said, that's Natasha talking. And even Diane was taken aback by when she said that. Now, Diane has been friends with Alexis for years. Probably, 12, 13 years they've been friends? Now, when Alexis looks at you, when Diane looks at you like that, that's how you know you on a whole nother level. Because that's how Diane was looking at her when she mentioned death. She was like, first of all, you're not supposed to say that to an officer of the court. But Alexis don't play no games. Like Natasha don't play. People got to know the difference between Alexis and Natasha. And I think I'm taking a giant leap. But I think even Helena noticed that. Because remember, Helena said in her last will and testament that she could never bring herself to kill Alexis. And I think the reason being is because she saw something in Alexis that many people probably haven't noticed about her. That she's more Cassadine than she's willing to admit. Like those, and I think Helena Ben realized that a long time ago. As many times as she threatened to kill Alexis, she couldn't do it because she knew that Alexis was just as ruthless. She knew she could be if she brought it out of herself. If you push somebody too far, eventually they're going to snap and push back. That's Alexis. And that's when Alexis becomes Natasha. And I think Helena noticed that years ago too. Judging by some of her facial expressions and certain scenes and some of what she says, it kind of alludes to it without actually saying it. You know what I'm saying? That's how brilliant it is. And I told y'all that before. Alexis needs to, show her Cassadine side sometime. Like, let people know that she's not one to be played with. That's some shit that you just don't want to do. Alexis ain't no punk. She might come off like that sometime, but trust, you push her far enough and see if she don't push your ass back. So anyway, thank God Shiloh's attorney is not Nora Buchanan. This lady seemed like she had some type of disability or something, the way she was talking. I don't know what it was, but she was talking a certain way, make it seem like she had some type of disability maybe. I don't know. But I don't recognize the signs of what it could be, but she just seemed like it, like a little off. So anyway, moving on from that. Willow should have left that damn classroom. I understand they kept her because Lulu and them, I guess, figured out a way to help save her job or whatever. That's why I'm assuming that's why the principal wanted to talk to Willow. But she needed to get to that court hearing because Diane kept telling her that she can't be late. You know, Diane was like, please, like, be here early. And when she mentioned the award ceremony, Diane was like, Diane wasn't having it. Diane was like, listen, she was like, I respect your dedication, but I need you here. She was like, you need to prioritize. Diane wasn't playing with her. But I think that they were trying to get her job back. I think that's the reason the principal wanted to talk to her. And she was so agitated because she was trying hard to get to that court hearing because, you know, you can't be late. You'll get a default judgment. I noticed that the judge in this case is the judge who used to date Monica a few years back, like 4 years ago. He used to date Monica, and he used to play the father on Moesha. I remember him. So yeah, Nina was her usual little pissy aunt self. She's always like that every time she's around Willow. She finds any little thing to complain about. Now she's mad because Willow gave Charlotte the kindness award instead of the academic award because she got all A's all year. I'm like, this woman finds anything to complain about. Any and everything. Like, grow the hell up. Like, you're mad because she gave the girl a kindness award? So what? Be happy that she got an award. And it was for something good. Like, why whine about the most smallest things? Like, who cares? Woulda, shoulda, coulda. That little girl is smart. I'm pretty sure she's going to win plenty of awards in her life. Why are you whining about one little award? Like, Nina is just intolerable. Like, seriously, she's annoying. So anyway, I actually agree with Jax today. I really do. When it came to Crimson and stuff like that. You know, see, this is why Jax is a smart business person. Because, yeah, ever since they announced that Ava was going to be on the September issue, sales have went up 25%. But I do agree with Jax. That's all good. But what are you going to do after that September issue? Because after that issue comes out and the readers read it, what's going to make them pick up the next issue? You got to have something major after that. You know, it's called long-term planning, long-term thinking. And that's what Jax does. You know, business-wise, you got to think long-term. And that's what he does. And it was so funny how Nina tried to say that she would quit Crimson or whatever like that. Nina, you're not quitting, so shut up. Second of all, who cares if she does quit? We all know that Maxie pretty much runs that whole damn place anyway, so who cares? A lot of those ideas came from Maxie anyway. So it wouldn't be no major loss anyhow, even if Nina does quit, even though we know she won't. So now Robert, of course, wanted to talk to Jax about Jerry because he felt like wherever Jax goes, Jerry is not far behind, which is true. But Jax felt like he never, he hasn't seen Jerry. But Robert ain't believing it. Robert was like, maybe you didn't want to see him. Because he knows Jerry's out there somewhere. He know. We all know that. I can't wait to see Jerry Jax one day. Hopefully. And of course, now Curtis decided to take the job with Valentine to scope out Jax or whatever. Valentine is such a jealous little biatch. Like, he really is. Valentine need to go sit down. He's doing more harm than good. Like, what is the point of looking into Jax thinking that, oh, he's a bad guy? And I want to know what Curtis dug up on Jax. Because he kept asking Jax, like, what secrets do he have? Because he decided to take the security job at Aurora. And he felt like he needed to know more about Jax. So apparently he did some type of research and found something on Jax. I don't know what it could be. I mean, Jax is, I can understand why people like Robert and all them would question him about Jerry's whereabouts, because Jax has been known to cover for his brother, but on this one, I don't think he is. And then we all know Jax isn't perfect, but it ain't like he runs around committing crimes every day either. You know what I mean? Like, that's a no-go. But anyway, This episode was pretty cool, though. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. I will see y'all all Monday. Hope you all have a great day. Have a wonderful weekend. See you all later. Peace.